Hi everyone, it's week 11 in Humanities 103, Mythology. Here is the list of readings and videos for this week. Last week, I talked a little bit about the definition of an epic or an epic hero. Now the reason we're focusing in on an epic hero is because really when we say hero, this is the type of hero that we're imagining. Our most famous literary and mythological heroes are cut out of that cloth of the epic. And so please start off by reading a more extended definition of what is epic literature. We're going to zero in on Odysseus, as I promised, and then you have a video that tells a little bit more about Odysseus in person. See, Odysseus is a great hero to focus on because he's got it all. He's got the supernatural abilities, the rugged good looks, the strength, but Odysseus has a lot of flaws as well. Sometimes we think of him as sort of the incurable romantic because he journeys for 20 years trying to make his way home from the Trojan War to his beautiful wife Penelope because, you know, true love. But this guy also sleeps with everybody he meets along the way. So it's a complicated story, and he's a complicated, heroic character. He's great fun to read about. I know a lot of you have probably read the Odyssey in high school. That's great. But I still would like all of you to please read the introduction to the Odyssey. Go over, it's a very long article actually, and all you need to do is read the introduction, the summary, the major themes, and the major characters. And that will give you enough of an overview to really appreciate what this piece of literature is all about. And then I would actually like you to read 2 chapters, or they're also called books, of the Odyssey, chapters 5 and chapter 6. And it's not that these 2 chapters are any more special or interesting than all of the other ones, but they do give you sort of a window into Odysseus's character and personality. The last reading for this week is a short article called How to Do a Character Analysis. Now, this is going to come in handy this week for your discussion post, but it will also come in very handy for some of you if you choose to use it for your novel analysis project. And there's the link to discussion number 7. So before I talk about discussion number 7 or Odysseus, what a character, I want to remind you that all I do is give you a very brief overview here on these slides, and you really need to go back to the actual instructions and read the whole thing very carefully. I've noticed a few people are leaving some parts out because they haven't gone back and read the original instructions. So here in a nutshell, it's a 2-part discussion. In the first part, I would like you to use that article, How to Do a Character Analysis. That article lists 5 things that are commonly included in this type of analysis, and we're going to use 4 of them to look at Odysseus in a little more detail. And those 4 are motivation, actions, voice, and descriptions. So what I would like you to do is take each one of those in turn and go back into the text, those 2 chapters, and I want you to find an example of each one of those that pertains to Odysseus, and then I want you to describe what it tells about him. So you're going to have 4 short paragraphs for part 1, one for each of those items, and in there you're going to explain what it is, and then you're going to explain what the situation was in the text and what it tells about Odysseus. And the last thing I'd like you to do is then, in parentheses, cite the location in the text. So you're going to cite the chapter and the line number. Oh, and I'd also like you to include 1 quote from Odysseus. So you've got several little things there that are all going to add up to a little mini argument, in a sense, to explain what Odysseus is all about, using those 4 little items there. Part 2 is very similar, only this time I want you to go back into your readings and choose one of those critical theories that we have been reading and talking about. Okay, so you can go all the way back to week 2, where you had a pretty long list of scholars and critical theories that people have applied to mythology. There was a pretty exhaustive list last week in chapter 11, and then you have something this week. So you have actually a bursting toolbox full of tools that you could use to put any piece of mythology sort of under the microscope to learn more about it. So what I want you to do is go back and choose one that you believe would be appropriate or useful in analyzing Odysseus. And then I want you to, first of all, explain what that theory is, just in a nutshell, how it applies to Odysseus, what does it show about him, and then where in the text you would find that. So here's just an example. Early in the semester, we read about Levi Strauss's structuralist approach. And he's the one who came up with these binary oppositions. And he was saying how humans are inherently conflicted. And so we're always sort of grappling with these oppositions. Remember, the visual for that was, the little angel sitting on one shoulder telling you, what to do that's right and proper, and then the little devil sitting on your other shoulder saying, no, you got to do this. This is more fun. Okay, so there's just a real quick sort of metaphor for these binary oppositions. So what would Levi Strauss say would be the binary oppositions that Odysseus is grappling with? And then what does Odysseus choose to do? Which one wins out? Okay, so just use that. I'm not saying to use it. I'm saying that's an example of one that you might use. Okay. If you have any questions about this before Sunday, just drop me a line and I'll help you work through that. As I said, there's no peer response requirement for this discussion, but I would strongly urge you to, especially later in the week, go back through and read some of the postings from your peers, because this is a great opportunity to see how other people are using some of these critical approaches to analyzing mythology. Because remember, your novel analysis project is coming up quickly here in about 4 weeks, and these are exactly the sorts of theories that you are going to be using for that paper. I'm really looking forward to reading your creation myth papers. They've been coming in pretty rapidly here. I will say that I have over 100 of them that I have to read, and I will get to each one of them as quickly as I possibly can, but it will take me a week and a half before I get through all of those. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate that.